Yes! A big ray of hope for us Looney Tunes! Lawsuits working to stop the Paramount Skydance from buying Warner Brothers! Hopefully this all works out!
Yeah, I, Sam Valentino, private tune detective, did briefly mention this in my last video, but now it's official! 12 state attorney generals, led by California, have filed an antitrust lawsuit to hopefully stop Paramount Skydance's deal in buying Warner Bros. Discovery once and for all. They're taking it to the courts, and, not surprisingly, one of those state attorney generals represents the channel creator's home state of Massachusetts. The perks of living in a democratic state. In a way, this could be almost like 12 Angry States, since, after all, 12 Angry Men is such a classic court-related movie. The other states involved in this lawsuit are Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Washington. As I said, this planned $111 billion deal from Paramount Skydance would really hurt competition in the movie TV industry, creating such a big and illegal monopoly, even worse than when Disney bought 20th Century Fox late last decade. It's why Paramount had been debating to sell off both Nickelodeon and the Cartoon Network should the deal close. Paramount wants to close the deal sometime in the third quarter of this year, but the lawsuit's goal is to stall the deal some more and eventually end it once and for all. Also, while China and Australia may have approved of this dastardly deal, there's still the United Kingdom working to intervene with it. And it's not just the state attorney generals. The Writers Guild of America is also filing a lawsuit to stop the buyout from happening. This doesn't surprise me one bit, since they threatened to take such legal action if the deal were to happen. Same with if Netflix were to buy Warner Brothers. But of course, as I said, Netflix was the lesser of two evils in this case. And yep, writers have been speaking out over the threat of this planned Paramount buyout poses, as have actors like Emma Thompson and Ben Stiller, and movie theater owners as well, despite the Ellisons promising to release at least 30 theatrical movies a year should the deal go through. That sounds like a lot of malarkey. And again, I'm also reminded of how Paramount merging with Skydance also led to the dissolving of National Amusements, Paramount's prior parent company. It's partly why the cinema this channel creator owner will go to closed up early this year, being a showcase cinema from National Amusements. Additionally, some Paramount investors are now also filing a lawsuit to block the merger themselves, accusing the Ellisons of striking an illegal deal with President Trump and overhauling CNN's news coverage for approving the merger, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. It's getting pretty bad if someone on Paramount's end wants to put a halt to the deal. Now, even if it's because of unethical practices. Heck, there was even a lawsuit from 5 Paramount Plus subscribers a couple months back, also to block the Warner Brothers deal. And California's Attorney General, Rob Bonta, has agreed that could be connected to these big antitrust lawsuits going into motion. Also on the Skydance side, their animation studio is pretty controversial, especially since it's run by John Lasseter, that bindle punk who co-founded Pixar and was eventually revealed to be a jerk and a creep. There's no way we want Warner Brothers Pictures' feature animation to be folded into them, or even Paramount's recent theatrical animation studio, where they haven't really had a hit outside of anything related to that SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, SpongeBob's popularity eclipsing mine aside, there was no way I'm gonna let John Lasseter be my boss after he played a part in shaping us Looney Tunes' second Dark Age in the 2000s. And if this deal closes, our third Dark Age will really hit rock bottom, with us being swept under the rug. And I'm sure the state attorney generals are aware this is one reason why to sue to stop the merger.
It's a possibility, Duck. And then Paramount Skydance also threatened to leave the state of California if they get sued and end the deal. Those Ellison mugs are acting like a couple of big babies, which is no surprise given they're friends with that man-child President Trump. Paramount Pictures has always had some kind of East Coast tie-ins. They were founded in New York City in 1912 before moving their feature film production to Hollywood in the 1920s. And even then, they still had offices in New York, especially after the Viacom merger in the 90s, until last year when they moved their corporate headquarters to Los Angeles, only to possibly leave there this year. Things hopefully don't go their way. I could see them moving back to New York, but they're also considering relocating to Texas, New Jersey, or Tennessee, getting a big offer from the latter state as a result of all this drama. Plus, I also remember when Paramount Pictures used to distribute cartoons made by the Fleischer brothers, who were based on the East Coast, until Paramount let them go and took over their old studio in 1942, based in New York City and called Famous Studios, until 1956 when they were renamed Paramount Cartoon Studios, until their closure in 1967 when Gulf and Western bought Paramount Pictures, during the time theatrical cartoons were dying out. Soon led to their rebranding in the late 80s as Paramount Communications. But rather than give a detailed history about the enemy in this case, I'm glad there is now legal action working to stop this deal from closing, because as I've often said, this merger would be disastrous. In addition to how badly it'd affect Warner Bros. Animation, its legacy properties, Cartoon Network and Warner Archive, both companies would end up in massive debt as a result. Paramount Skydance is already in a lot of debt, partly from pursuing their goal to buy Warner, but so is Warner themselves, even though last year helped reduce their debt amount quite a bit thanks to some box office hits, like that newer Superman movie, The Conjuring, Last Rites, Sinners, and the Minecraft movie that went on to be their highest grossing film in 2025, near $1 billion, in addition to all the layoffs that would commence. There would be several bankruptcies in place, and I'm reminded of when a similar merger happened in the railroad industry, the Penn Central merger of 1968, where they went bankrupt just 2 years later in the largest bankruptcy in American history, as part of Pennsylvania Railroad and New York Central merging and absorbing the very indebted New Haven Railroad that used to run through this very area that Channel Creator lives in. Of course, Penn Central's then folded into Conrail in 1976, and then CSX took over the half of Conrail that includes this area in 1999. And from what I've seen, aside from those liberal Republicans, nobody here wants to see such a Hollywood disaster unfold for such a catastrophic merger. And with these lawsuits, it brings us one step closer to the deal being canceled. Right now, we're in the temporary court order stage. After that, they've got the discovering, hearings, and motions, and finally the trial and court decision. But the appeal to cancel the merger is still entirely possible at this rate, so let's all hope they can move it up to being probable. Unless, of course, something gets worse just after I upload this video. Which I hope not, but if it does, an update from me and some of my other Toon Chums will follow, so you guys should stay tuned.